Hey guys, it's Moogalore here, and I'm here with
Lancer
and DX Strike.
And you're watching Game Fiends, and today we're going to talk about Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. And like I said before, man, like this was a MMO that I was, and me and my brothers were all looking forward to. Like we were already super excited when Microsoft came out of nowhere and even told us that, hey, Phantasy Star Online 2 will be coming to the Xbox and the PC. So like about time. We waited all these years, and then right after that, not too long after that, the next event, here we go. You know, the Phantasy Star Online New Genesis. This is a continuation within the Phantasy Star Online 2 series. So I'm like, oh man, here we go again. So we just want to have a quick discussion on what we thought about it. So far, we only played it on launch day. We haven't really gotten back to it because we've been so busy with Game Fiend content, so we wasn't able to go back and play it some more. But we did spend a few about a good 5 to 6 hours playing on launch day. So this is from our launch day experience. Now I know, you know, after launch day, I know so much possibly has changed since then, but we just want to give you our overall thoughts. And we're going to start with Lancer. What do you think about Phantasy Star Online New Genesis so far, from what you played? And what's your class? I guess you could say race or character, however you want to call it. So begin with that.
Well, for starters, I am a Newman, which is almost like, I guess, like an elf type character. Usually on fantasy type games, I always pick like elf like characters because I always like the way they look, and they also have like long hair. So that's what I always choose. But moving on to my class, I am a ranger mixed with a gunner. And the thing that really amazes me on Genesis, mixing both of those classes, I can actually utilize and use double guns, because that's what I was expecting to use coming from, you know, playing Phantasy Star Part 2 and stuff like that. My experience with the game, playing it the first day, I was wild. It knocked me off my feet, especially the story was pretty much on the roll compared to its predecessor, which the story to me on that game, its previous game, was just all over the place to me. This is one cohesive story, and the world is very expansive, and there's just so much to explore in the game. And like I said before, this game just blows my mind, and I'm very interested to go forth and play more of this game with Moogalore, DX, and some of my friends. But DX, what about you?
Well, I loved it. I had my gripes at first with the graphics and the frames.
Oh my god!
I was a little scared because it asked you, do you want to prioritize the frame rate or the quality, or have both? And I'm like, okay, I choose it, and then I'm like, all right, nothing's changed. But I feel like they didn't really when it came to that, they didn't really translate it like that well from PC to console, because on console, when they ask you that, you click it, you're supposed to see it right away. But no, you have to go deep inside the options and switch it from 30 frames to 60 frames. That's PC stuff. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that on the console version. But other than that, I loved it. They said it was just an open field, but no, that's an open world. I'm sorry. That's an open world, and you can see what levels you're going to go to just from standing on the cliff. It's very vibrant, it's very beautiful. The story mode looks like it's taken even more seriously than the original. Was it the combat? Even though it's the same, it just feels fresh because how open and so much ways you can handle a situation as far as fighting enemies and stuff like that. The combat, as far as the classes, they changed a lot of things. That's how some of the classes work, and that's really fresh. But I loved it, and I can't wait to see more. Another gripe that I had was the customization is still very limited. It still hasn't been a game that customization is just like feels limitless. They didn't really add anything new as far as armor, hairstyles, accessories and stuff like that. It's still dragging on a lot of things from the original, which kind of disappoints me because I'm an artist and I love to create. I spend a lot of time on character creation if I have a lot of options to make whatever characters I have in my head and stuff like that. But other than that, I love it.
Oh man, yeah man, like I wasn't expecting, like I knew the game was going to be good, but I wasn't expecting for me to sit down for the next like 5 to 6 hours playing the game. Because I was like, you know, I'm going to get on for a little bit, then I'm going to get back to doing my animations and stuff on my computer. But before I knew it, I looked up, 5 to 6 hours had went by. I got totally invested in it. And I think they're starting to take a lot of liberties as far as like the content is concerned, like single player content, multiplayer content, and everything that's more up to date. It's the up to date models, because stepping into the game, you have to play like a single player first. Like the opening, it felt more like a single player role-playing game. When the game first opens up, you get introduced to the world, you get introduced to the characters, you land onto the planet, get introduced to the NPCs, the characters, and then they take you into a town. From that moment right there, it feels like you're playing a single player role-playing game at first, and then it's to introduce you to the gameplay mechanics, and also to introduce you to this new setup and to how the world functions, how it works, because this game is 1,000 years into the future from the original Fiendz Store Online 2. And then right after that, that's when the game start coaching you in to get the understanding on how the new open field works. And then from the open fields, it takes you to the main city, the central city. You go into the central city, and it introduce you into the different shops. So it's a really nice introduction to ease you into the game. And the thing what they did was they fixed it to where you're not allowed to jump in and form parties right away, because they want to introduce you and coach you right into the new gameplay mechanics, how they set up the world building, the characters, and everything. Once you pass the prologue, that's when you're able to party with everybody else. So as far as that's concerned, I like how now instead of going to the store to go buy Monomate, you can go outside into the open field and find healing items there. You can just pick them up, grab them, take them with you and everything. As far as mags are concerned, which we haven't gotten far, I'm not sure if as far as mags are concerned, are you able to still feed them or anything, because we haven't really gotten that far. But just at this moment, not worrying about feeding the mag was like a sigh of relief for me. I just want to just play the game. The fact is that in the combat, it's so free, it feels so I guess you say free form down, because if you played the original Fiendz Store Online and the original PSO2, you had this timing system where you had to time the attacks, where your character lights up and then it allows you to hit the button again to continue to attack. But no, this time it's just about you can continuously press the button and attack, and that's what I love about it. And the fact is that they made the sub job unlock part of the story as you progress, instead of you doing it as a quest and you gotta do all these requirements. No, you just do the story and you get the subclass, and they get you right into the crux of things. And that's where, to me, where the game opens up the most, is when you get to the subclass, because then you can add your secondary class, and then you're allowed to use the weapons of that class, which is pretty dope. So you can come up with all these different combinations, and you find out what combination works best for you. I'm a hunter. I decided to try Hunter Ranger and also Hunter Fighter, so I swap back and forth to give them a try. And I think the goal is, for me, which you're not stuck to a class, you can switch anytime you want, so your character is pretty fluid as far as class is concerned. And before I pass it off back to both DX Strike and Keel Lancer, I just want to say, as far as the world is, it seemed like there's so much to explore, and I like the fact that they did with like how they did Xenoblade, where they have like this tower that you have to find, and that allows you to teleport to each part of the map as you progress and unlock it in your mag, find those little things and stuff. And I think that's pretty cool, and it's like wherever you look, it's like you can run there. And that was the fun part, where we had to look for the region mag, and I called Keel Lancer and DX Strike to come over, and I said, yo, we have to head up there, and you're able to see it from a distance, and we just traveled there together. I thought it was pretty fun. But yeah, so what do you guys think about like the overall world and exploration within the game?
Well,
Keel Lancer.
Well, for me, like because I guess I was one of the first ones that turned it on. So after I got past the whole entire introduction and stuff, and started to explore like part of the world before I got to the city, and I'm like, wow, I said, yo, this thing just keeps going. Like, it's so much open world. It's to the point where I'm getting anxiety trying to figure out, where do I want to go next? Do I want to continue with the story? What else am I losing out on if I don't go to the city and, you know, get items and stuff like that? What can I find out here? So it's just blowing my mind. And to see Phantasy Star in a light like this compared to going to corridor to corridor like zones from the previous game, this thing just blows it out of the water, and the environment is very rich, especially once I found out how to turn on the 60 frames. Once I found that out, it just made the game even more vibrant for me. The combat, as I say, on the battlefield is very fluent. It's very shiny in a sense, like, and flashy. It is definitely refreshing to the Phantasy Star series, and the music feels almost similar to the old Phantasy Star to me. And it's just it just gets me definitely connected into the world, especially the ecosystem. When me and DX went to go to this one plateau area, it had so many different layers. Now I'm traveling on top of one of the plateaus. He jumps down. Now I don't know what he's doing down there. I'm just walking around trying to get all these supplies. He said, "Yo, Keo." He said, "Yo, look down here. You see this big monster?" I said, "What are you talking about?" So I didn't look at it right away. I just jumped down until I got to that plateau eventually. When I got down there, the monster was so big, he was almost to the plateau I was at. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. How big can you make the monsters on this freaking world? So I'm gonna let DX take it away for our experience together.
Yeah, it was just so many avenues that you could just turn to and just go on, like, was it? Especially like on the map, like, and you do the side quests and stuff like that, it has like an icon telling you where to go and stuff like that. And you're like, dang, we're like, it's not, I'm here, but I don't see anything. And then next you know, you keep going, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe if I jump down, and then it's like a deep cave. It's like deep caves and stuff under what you're on top of that leads you to different other places and stuff. And then it's big down there, and then you start seeing more and more monsters, whatever. And I also like the fact that the new emergency sounds like the
oh yes.
So emergency joins, like, you can just, you know, go to a big area where the icon is at, and then you see all these different people just sitting there waiting for the event to happen. But I went there and I'm ready. But as I got deeper down there, I'm seeing people with crazy armor and everything. And I'm seeing, like, all right, I'm seeing level 15, 20s and stuff. Like, oh, snap, I gotta get out of here. And then the monsters started to show up. I had to hurry up and book before I died. Like, it was dope. And I really loved when when us three finally all hooked up, and we was doing we was doing the subclass thing where we had to unlock the subclass, and we had to go all the way up to the top of the mountain, and then we had to protect this caravan, and all these monsters started coming down, and they just wouldn't stop coming. Then other people we didn't know started showing up. We started fighting them together, and then, like, it was dope how all the monsters were unique. Like, all the monsters were doing different things. So it was like we all having our own different types of battles while being around each other. So this one monster in the air flying around the mountain, I'm shooting it. Then you got the little alien spider monsters that's running into us. Then you got the tall like big axe hammer type dudes and stuff like that. It was just dope. I really enjoyed it, and it was just fun. I didn't want to get off, but I definitely want to play more.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to play more over the weekend. Now, I have to admit, man, like, the quality of life for this game is just amazing. It's just so awesome. I like the fact that you're able to glide, and I like the like you can pretty much glide almost anywhere. Like, you can glide and you wall jump, and you can wall kick off a wall, and you can just, it reminds me of Breath of the Wild in some aspects when you do the climbing and you jumping off of stuff onto other things. If you can climb it, you can if you know how to get your way around the map, you can take shortcuts. You can climb your way around certain parts of the terrain, which I thought was pretty cool. And the fact is that you're not, like, cut off by, like, a border, like an artificial border, you know? Like, I got to the highest cliff at one point, and I saw the central city from a distance, and I was actually able to glide there. And glide over top of it and just land inside. Instead of, it's not like a wall that stops me and I have to hit the ground and then walk inside. No, I'm actually able to glide into the central city, which I thought was pretty cool. And another thing about the ease of life and the quality of life also is the PSE burst. They actually have a location that explains to you that this area has potential for you to get a burst by defeating a certain amount of monsters in that area, which I found a whole lot better, because I think my problem was with the original Phantasy Star Online 2 was that since we, we're new players and the game been around for so long, for me, I was just confused just because it was just so many mechanics thrown at you at one time, especially the emergencies and the PSE bursts. It's like, as I'm doing things in the original, things are just happening and I don't even know how I'm doing these things or how and what conditions I'm meeting at the moment that they're happening. And this one makes things a bit easier, and they actually give you the target and the locations to know that, okay, if you stay in this area long enough and you constantly defeat these monsters, rare monsters will show up. And that's what me, Keel Lancer, DX Strike did. We ended up going to this cliff, this area, like this sandy, rocky area, and we kept fighting. And then we will climb up and go to the next target area, and then we'll keep fighting and fighting until a much bigger monster will appear, and then we just other people that's on the map will just show up, and we just clearing out the area together. And it was just, man, it was just fun, man. I really enjoy it, and we definitely gonna hop back in there over the weekend. So if you guys are interested in playing with us and you part of the Discord, definitely hit us up. We also going to use the voice chat channel as well, so you can get a voice chat with a lot of you guys through the Discord. And I'll definitely be leaving an Discord invite link on this video too, so you guys can just click on it and get invited to the channel. But overall, just give your overall thoughts, Keel Lancer and then DX Strike, and then we're gonna close this out.
Well, my overall thoughts is it's like I wanted a Phantasy Star game to give me that feeling that the original gave me, from the Dreamcast to the Xbox to the GameCube, the one that we mainly played the most, the GameCube. And this game does it for me. It gives me that feeling of the old Phantasy Star, and that's what I was looking for. Not saying that I didn't enjoy the previous one, but this...
Yeah, I agree with that, Keo, because even though I enjoyed the original PSO2, I don't know, I just couldn't really get into it like how I did the original Phantasy Star Online. And so I agree with that.
And this definitely does it for me, and I really appreciate the hard work that was put into this game, and I'm really looking forward to the other extra additional DLCs that's going to be released for this game. I will put money into this game, and I'm going to put like a lot of time into this game, especially if we're going to be streaming and all that other good stuff. I want people to see the enjoyment and excitement that you can get from playing Phantasy Star. What do you think, DX?
I loved every minute, every hour of playing this game, even by myself before we linked up. I loved it. It definitely, I can agree with you guys. It did give me the feel that the old school Phantasy Star did back in the day, and I just can't wait to see, as far as like when they do updates and expansions and stuff. I just can't see where it takes us. It's nothing but up from here, and then it was Phantasy Star had to head this way eventually, because it couldn't be the same all the time and stuff like that. And I'm glad we finally here, and open world Phantasy Star, like, it seemed like it would never happen, but it's here, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and so we definitely be playing this weekend. So hopefully we see you guys. Hopefully I'm gonna try to live stream it too with Keel Lancer, so you better check out Keel Lancer's stream and my stream, and eventually DX Strike will be streaming too, so we will have 3 streams going on, so you guys you can check out all 3 streams going on at once. But that pretty much wraps up this video. Looking forward to playing more, and if you guys enjoyed this discussion video, I definitely want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis? Have you started yet? And if you have, what class have you started with, and what do you think about the overall gameplay experience and playing with other people in this game? And if you like the video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. If you want to stay, I guess you could say, in the loop as far as Phantasy Star Online is concerned, make sure you hit that bell to be notified. This is Mugen Lord and
Keel Lancer
and DX Strike.
See you Game Fiends later. Peace out.